Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm with my dad, Gary. We are going to be talking about how we built the toddler bed. So let's get into it.
Okay. Well, one day I get a random text from my daughter with a picture of a couple of 2 or 3 beds that I've never seen before. And she said, I still have the text, how hard would it be for me to build a toddler bed like one of these? My answer was, I would say pretty hard, but if we did it together, then not so hard. It'd be easier for me to do it than to show her how.
Why is that?
It's not real difficult, but
He used to be a carpenter.
oh, yeah.
That's why.
Well, cabinet maker.
A cabinet maker. He knows his way around tools. So we printed off some of those pictures and we tried to figure out how dimensions.
We needed to settle on a design and the size before we knew what to buy at Home Depot.
So I originally wanted a full mattress, but
That's the size my wife and I sleep on.
He laughed at me.
That's pretty big.
So we did a twin mattress and we laid out sticks and things
To try and get the size and visualize.
It was very hard. It was a lot harder to think and to picture than I thought it would be.
So you really have to kind of figure out what size you want and settle on a mattress, because you got to kind of build it around the mattress.
And we even measured Marlo's head from like that so that her head can't go through the bars. And so we had to do that and think about how big of the bars we wanted to do.
Yeah, some were square and some were dowels. And I suggested the dowels only because to do a square hole into the bottom rail and the top rail and put these square slats in would be hard, where if it's a dowel you can just drill a hole. It's a lot easier to just drill a hole.
So we decided to do the easy route.
And we thought it looked better anyway.
It does look better. So we went to Home Depot after figuring out he measured out all these lengths for me and figured out everything, because
tried to figure it out.
My brain doesn't work that way. So he did most of the brain thinking.
So we settled on the main pieces of the bed, the big long rails. We thought, well, a 2x2 was too small and a 2x4 was too big. And then I realized they sell a 2x3 at Home Depot, which was the perfect size. So we didn't have to cut anything down. We could just buy 2x3s. And all we had to do is cut lengths and not the width or anything like that. So 2x3s is what we went with the main construction, and then the dowels were the rest.
And what is that called?
That is a miter saw. And the nice thing about this bed is everything could be done with a miter saw. We didn't really need a table saw or a radial arm saw or any other. We could cut everything to length with just this one saw. And it's nothing fancy, just a normal miter saw.
So we cut off the ends of the raw wood so it wouldn't...
A nice clean edge before you measured the length.
Good thinking.
Yeah. So Kim, do I call you Kim?
It doesn't matter.
She was named Kimberly when she was born. I don't know why she changed it to Kim, but that's okay. Kim, she did all the cuts of the lengths, and she did a good job.
And what is this handy tool?
That's a router. So because some of the edges were square and some were a little bit rounded, we wanted them all a little bit rounded. So this is like a bit for the router is like a 1/4 inch round. We kind of wanted to match the other rounded edges of the 2x3s. So we had to use the router and do all the edges.
I was very helpful in this.
To round them off.
Just kidding.
No, she was. Now we need to sand it. 2 steps in the sanding. One was a belt sander to really do the major, because this is lumber. It's building lumber. It's rough. So we needed to use a belt sander, pretty heavy grit, I don't know, 80 grit or something like that, to smooth it down at first, and then can use the vibrating.
I never heard him call me Kim in my life.
I've never called her Kim in my life. But
anyways,
everybody knows her as Kim. So Kimberly, Kim, she did the sanding with the vibrating or orbital sander.
And it was so much harder than I thought it would be. It slips and slides under.
It wants to jump all over. Yeah. So basically, just sanding everything to get it smooth, because eventually going to paint it. Unless, I mean, some people may want to leave it natural.
Buy nicer wood if you want to buy nicer wood. We bought the cheap stuff. What are you doing here?
Okay, so because it's inexpensive wood, cheap lumber, it's got defects, and you know, if you're building a wall or whatever, who cares? But we wanted everything smooth, so there's knots and there's imperfections and stuff. So I just used like wall patch that I happened to have in my workshop, because we just need to smooth it out so it can be painted. If we were going to stain it or something or use natural wood, then I would use some sort of wood putty or wood filler. But we didn't need to do that. I just used this. I can't remember the brand, but it's pink when you put it on, and it turns white when it's dry. So that's kind of fun. And then, of course, you're going to have to resand all of it again, but it's just a process you go through.
And by this time, Marlo had woken up from a nap, so I left. And my dad stayed up until... what time?
Late, like midnight or something.
I left around, I think, like, was it 2 or 3? And then he
just kept
texted
going.
me at like midnight and he's like, I'm done almost.
I hate to stop something once I get started. So I just kept going.
You're cleaning it off. I just thought it looked satisfying.
You could watch that for hours.
Yeah.
You get really dirty, obviously, when you're sanding, and I don't have any dust collection system in my workshop, and so I wear a mask, sometimes ear protection. I mean, just wear protection, whatever you need. The glasses if you're doing stuff with saws and things. Now we have to drill all the holes for the dowels, and we had to measure and get all the measurements just right, so we knew exactly where to drill the holes and mark them. And I kind of put a thing, call it a jig, but it really wasn't much of a jig, but it was so that when I put the wood there, it was exactly in the center, and then I just needed to move it from side to side for each hole. We wanted a nice clean hole. They have bits called paddle bits that can cut a big hole, but they chip the wood. So I would recommend maybe investing in a more expensive bit that does a nice clean hole, and it's called a Forstner, if I'm pronouncing it right. So we drilled all the holes.
You drilled all
I drilled all the holes.
I didn't. Laying everything out.
Assembly.
This probably would have gone a lot faster if I was there to help you.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Don't you like
struggle.
to be somebody to ask you to help them make something and then they disappear?
I told him to wait. I said.
I couldn't wait. It wasn't her fault.
I said.
I was like.
And then there was some wobbly looking ones.
So some of them, yeah, they were warped or bent, the dowels, and so I wanted to make sure we used the straightest ones we had. And then assembling. You got to really start on one side and work your way to the other. It's kind of awkward. Just get the end one in and then the next one and the next one, and as you'll see.
And why did you not glue the dowels down? Why did you decide to not?
I'm lazy. No, they don't need to be. They really don't. It's once you put the whole frame together, the dowels aren't going anywhere. And actually, it's good to have a little bit of. I don't know why it's good. It just is.
That's what someone told you one time.
Yeah, I'm not. And plus, you put glue in there, you're going to be cleaning up glue, and it squishes out, and it really doesn't. I don't know. I didn't think it needed it. So none of them are glued. They're just in the holes, and then we put the end pieces on, and the dowels aren't going anywhere. Have they stayed in place?
Yeah.
With Marlo, she hasn't yanked them out yet.
Not yet.
Okay. So everything on this bed pretty much is screwed together. I don't know if I really use glue for anything. That's the beauty of screws, is you can screw it in, and if you ever want to take it apart, you can take it apart. So, and putting glue, if I glued those ends right there, the glue really wouldn't be that strong. It's the screws that are really holding that. So they're screwed in. So I had to countersink the screws, if you know what that means.
I know what that means.
Tell us.
Maybe. No, I don't know.
Well, you watched me do it.
It's where you put all the screws in, but not all the way tight, right? And then you tighten them.
No.
Okay.
Countersink means you have to drill a hole deep into the wood so that the screw can be sunk in. How do I countersink? Look it up on Google. So if you look closely, I didn't just put a screw in. I drilled pre-drilled holes for the screws. A little hole for the screw to go all the way through, and a bigger hole for the head of the screw to be sunk into the wood. So some of those screws are that far into the wood.
Oh, gotcha.
So you don't have to have big, long screws. You can use actually shorter screws, but they're sunk into the wood.
I was way off on mine.
Kind of. Okay. Putting the ends together now. And again, they're just screwed in.
Countersinked.
Countersunk. This is
oh no!
Stupid mistake.
What was he thinking?
I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, don't assemble it on top of the other two standing out.
They weren't held by anything.
And because on the corners there, you got screws going one way and screws going another way, and you got to try to make them up a little bit offset from each other. So if they go like that, they'll hit each other if you put one screw in and the other. So on those corners right there where I'm screwing it in, that the holes on one side are slightly off from the holes on the other, so that they miss each other.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But something I wouldn't think about.
Yeah, something you wouldn't think about unless you've made that mistake multiple times like I have when building things. This is not fine workmanship, I mean, this is lumber. It's not oak, or it's not super fancy joints or anything. It's really, really basic stuff. But really, the nice thing about it is anybody can do it. Anybody, you can do it.
So doing the other side here.
The last. I'm screwing it together, and this.
Make sure all the dowels are
in, and this.
Oh no!
So I put this particular screw in, and it.
Do you see that?
Made a major chip in the wood.
Look how
it split, and I was not very happy at that point. It's like, great, it was all beautiful, and the big split at the end.
But isn't he a saint? He doesn't swear at all.
You don't know what I was thinking. So I squirted some glue in there, put a clamp on, and then pretty much you have to wait till that's very dry. I mean, before you put that screw back in.
Yeah.
So, but glue in that situation is extremely strong.
So what is this wood from and for?
Oh, okay. So this is the mattress isn't just going to sit on the floor. We want the mattress raised above the floor on slats. So this is the edge where the slats lay on. And so I was trying to figure out, well, how are we going to make these little lips for the slats? We had extra 2x3s, so I just cut off, I think, 1 inch or maybe 3/4 of an inch strip and use those and just screw those on to the bottom there, so that the slats that are going to go across to hold the mattress up sits on that little lip.
Nice.
So that's what I was doing.
It was convenient. We had extra.
Yeah, so we used from the extra wood that we had. So that was nice. So here we're cutting the slats. that hold the mattress. And I was lazy, and I think I did 4 at a time. They don't have to be super perfect. They just lay on the bottom of the bed on those little lips. So there's 8 slats. And there's the slats laying on the ledge.
Great job.
There it is.
The bed.
The bed. It was way fun. And I hate painting, so I'm so glad that Kim painted it.
It was very hot that day.
So, did you use any special paint?
I painted the walls white in Marlo's room like a few months ago, and I just used the excess paint, so it's just wall paint. I didn't pick up anything special.
Nothing special. Just make sure there's no lead in it.
Yeah. She doesn't chew on anything anymore.
They don't put lead in paint anymore. I'm just teasing.
Here's my mom singing. Oh. That's going in the video. Taking the cribby down. Marlo, are we gonna get a big girl bed? We're gonna put the crib in the garage. Is that your bed?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
Big girl bed?
Lay on your pillow. Lay down on your pillow. Whoa. Is that where you're gonna sleep? Yeah. Are you excited?
Woo! Hi.
All right, there's the video of us making a toddler bed. Mostly him making a toddler bed, and I painted it.
It was way fun. End. It was fun and really pretty simple. Pretty simple.
Simple for you. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. You can write them in the comments, and I'll try and make him answer them because he will probably know more than me.
We'll probably put dimensions and things in it, right?
Yeah, the description box below.
Yeah.
I'll put everything down there. And give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And if you want any more videos like this, I'm sure my dad would be up for a project. So
tell me what you want to build.
go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. And you can follow my Instagram at Mrs. Kimmy Fowler for more fun stuff. The end. Thanks for watching.